Welcome to the new era of technology and the internet. Wait, wrong one. I mean, this is the new era of technology, right? In case you haven't noticed, in the past year, there has been a flurry of AI applications for everything you can think of. All of a sudden, these apps and websites are coming out of nowhere. Companies that mention the word AI have sudden increases of stocks, and the hype just never seems to end. Wait, doesn't that sound really familiar? What happened to NFTs and Web 3.0 being the next big thing? Where did all these crypto bros go? So now why is it that every day instead there's a new AI company that's solving another problem faster than the NFT collections were coming out last year? Being a software engineer who has some uses for these AI tools, I did some research myself, and turns out I found there's actually an explanation behind everything going on. So I thought I'd share my thoughts, and by the end of the video you'll understand whether these tools are actually useful, as well as some hidden risks of using these tools that no one seems to be talking about. So if your attention span hasn't been eroded by TikTok and social media, congratulations. You may have realized that the trend of cryptocurrency has basically died and been replaced by AI. But before we start talking about AI, we need to quickly recap what's happened to cryptocurrency and the NFT space, because it all ties together in an interesting trend. Basically, with everything going on in the economy, alongside several massive scandals, crypto, NFTs and all the altcoins crashed severely, and in the past year, the hype has died a lot. The initial promise of NFTs providing a fairer economy for digital creators has faced harsh realities, and basically a bunch of lies. The crypto rich are becoming fewer, and they all cashed out, while the perceived value and ease of use of NFT tech hasn't really met expectations at all. For example, royalties for artists, one of the key selling points, has proven unenforceable in many situations, leading to a lot of disappointment and anger. As the dust settles, institutions are attempting to find ways to adapt and improve the situation, with some platforms focusing on exclusive communities or additional benefits for holders, but a lot of them have simply left the community altogether. Now all of a sudden, the crypto bros who were once giving financial advice that apparently wasn't actual financial advice, and claiming that NFTs were the future, bro, you just don't understand, have disappeared. Or have they? Maybe they just repackaged themselves with a fancy disguise, and it seems due to the short attention span of the internet, no one really noticed their absence. Which is quite surprising given how much noise they made when crypto was at its peak, and claiming how everyone was going to make it. But the confusing part is how these people all of a sudden became experts in machine learning and artificial intelligence, seemingly overnight, after claiming Web 3.0 was the future and trying their best to explain how much use cases this technology has to people who don't actually understand what's going on. So how did everyone suddenly pivot from being crypto gurus to becoming AI experts and creating their own unique, brand new AI tools? The answer may be pretty obvious. Applications such as ChatGPT or Midjourney have played a significant role in this transformative shift. Generative AI, which has gained massive popularity in recent times, is at the forefront of this new wave of AI applications. It's important to note that generative AI is just one area of AI among many others that have been evolving throughout the years, including self-driving cars and general artificial intelligence. Generative AI represents a remarkable advancement in the field of machine learning. It focuses on enabling the creation of powerful applications with relative ease by providing open APIs which have revolutionized the development process. Previously, building sophisticated language models or leveraging the capabilities of large-scale AI systems was a daunting task that required extensive computational resources and expertise, and no small company could just do their own, right? However, with the advent of new publicly accessible APIs such as ones by OpenAI, the barriers to entry have significantly diminished. By opening up the APIs, these generative AI platforms have effectively eliminated a lot of the complex pre-processing and computational heavy lifting that was previously required. Now developers with intermediate coding skills can easily create programs that harness the power of generative AI with a few lines of code. With the right prompts and instructions, a whole world of possibility opens up, allowing individuals to build applications that were once reserved for the most skilled AI experts. These applications range from creative writing assistants and content generation to virtual assistants and even chatbots. Imagine a scenario where a software engineer wants to develop a language translation tool but doesn't have expertise in natural language processing or access to vast amounts of training data. With the availability of generative AI platforms such as ChatGPT, they can leverage the pre-trained models and easily integrate them into their own applications. This accessibility has democratized AI development essentially, and made it more accessible to a wider range of individuals. It's like having a highly advanced autocorrect system that relies on vast quantities of trained data to enhance and streamline various tasks. Now, because of this newfound accessibility, entrepreneurs and developers are seizing this opportunity to create their own unique AI tools in whatever industry and domain they're in. From automated content creation and personalized marketing campaigns to AI-powered customer support systems, the potential applications of generative AI are vast and exciting. But why are they targeting AI applications in the first place? Well, like many things, the market all seems to follow the hype because that's where the money is, creating this feedback loop of hype and money, driving more and more exposure to the industry and more demand for new players in the field to emerge. Right now there is clear demand due to all the buzz around how much value AI tools can bring in terms of business value and leverage, replacing the need for human capital and office workers and drastically increasing productivity. This hype essentially builds up over time and more people are interested, and this is exactly the same trend that crypto has, and it turns out it follows a familiar trend called the Gartner hype cycle. Let me explain. Imagine you're about to embark on a journey up a mountain, starting at the base and aiming to reach the summit. But in this case, the mountain is not a physical one, but a representation of the life cycle of technological innovations, from inception to widespread adoption. This journey is what we call the Gartner hype cycle, a framework that provides valuable insights into the progression of emerging technologies. The first stage of the Gartner hype cycle is the technology trigger. It represents a moment when a new technology or idea is born, representing the foothill of our metaphorical mountain. In this context, both AI and crypto and NFTs emerge as intriguing concepts that capture the attention of the world. AI showcased its potential through the development of virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa, competing each other, while crypto NFTs open up exciting possibilities in the realm of digital assets and the use of cryptocurrency in real-world transactions such as buying a pizza with Bitcoin. As the word spreads and the buzz intensifies, we find ourselves on the peak of inflated expectations. This summit of the hype mountain is a thrilling yet precarious position to be in. The technology becomes the talk of the town and people start envisioning its transformative power. However, it's important to note that during this phase, expectations often exceed the technology's actual capabilities. In the case of crypto, the industry experienced a wave of excessive expectations, fueling a frenzy of fear of missing out and rampant speculation as the market attempted to find stability. In terms of AI, we are currently hovering around this peak, with soaring enthusiasm and great potential. The subsequent stage is the trough of disillusionment. Just like in life, as the initial excitement fades, the shortcomings of the technology becomes apparent. Implementations may not live up to the overly optimistic expectations, leading to a huge decline in interest. In the realm of crypto, this phase was marred by numerous scams, rug pulls, and bad actors that created significant doubt and skepticism within the community. Similarly, other technologies, including NFTs, have experienced similar setbacks, leading many to question their long-term viability now. However, it's important to remember that not all technologies succumb to this trough. Those that persevere move on to the next phase. The last two phases I won't go into detail here because they're not exactly relevant, but they are the slope of enlightenment, which you can find in things such as the Internet of Things, and then followed by, lastly, the plateau of productivity, such as the smartphone that you're probably watching this video from. Now, as you can see through this analysis by Gartner in 2021, they were actually scarily accurate, with generative AI and NFTs being accurately placed slightly behind where they are now, 2 years later. So through this Gartner hype cycle, we can finally start to understand the typical progression of a technology, from inception through disillusionment to enlightenment and productivity. It teaches us that hype doesn't equal success, and early disappointments doesn't necessarily spell failure. By understanding this cycle, we can better understand what's going on and what to expect for the future of AI. But there is one last thing that no one really warns you about using these AI tools right now. So are these AI applications actually legit, or are they duds? Well, one thing AI has over NFTs right off the bat is that, for the most part, they are solving real problems and therefore have utility straight away. Otherwise, no one is going to waste their time using them, right? I'm not saying that each AI application is perfect and will be 100% useful, but rather that unlike the false promises and wool that NFT marketing companies had to pull and convince you that they had utility and value, these AI applications are pretty straightforward with what they promise and actually deliver for the most part, even if the results can sometimes be a little bit strange and not as perfect as promised. Instead of begging for your money and having to make weird logic to convince you that this NFT will go to the moon, or that it's going to have value in a few years from now, these AI tools are trying to cram as much value as they can to try and sell you why their tool is worth it in this new market space. However, there is one thing you might need to be careful about when using these applications. Do keep in mind that while generative AI tools such as large language models have gained significant attention and popularity, they come with inherent limitations. One crucial aspect to consider is that these tools lack a fundamental understanding of what is truly true or false. They operate based on patterns and associations learned from vast amounts of data, but they do not possess genuine comprehension or contextual understanding like humans do, at least for now. Due to their reliance on statistical patterns, generative AI models can occasionally produce outputs that are factually incorrect or misleading. These models are trained on a vast array of text from the internet, which, as we all know, may contain inaccuracies, biases, or subjective viewpoints. Consequently, when prompted with a query, the AI may generate responses that appear confident but are not necessarily accurate or reliable. Moreover, the nature of generative AI models make them prone to hallucinations. This means they can generate information or answers that seem plausible but are entirely fabricated. These fabricated responses can be convincing and may mislead users who assume the AI model possesses a genuine understanding of the topic. Recognizing the limitations of generative AI models is vital to avoid potential pitfalls and misinterpretations. As users, it is our responsibility to be discerning and cautious, acknowledging that while these AI tools have immense potential, they are not a substitute for human expertise and critical thinking, at least for now. Earlier I mentioned we are currently in the peak of inflated expectations stage of the Gartner hype cycle for AI, so similar to how when NFT projects were booming and people were funneling cash into anything that mentions it, we must also be wary of the false promises that these companies are marketing, but more importantly understand that it's currently a bloodbath out there as companies are trying desperately to acquire product market fit and in general survive and make noise in this high market for AI tools that people actually use. In the age of AI, getting customers on board is key not only because they want to make money but because data is king. This is why companies such as Reddit and Twitter have started walling off their public APIs or charging out the gates for them, because user data is becoming more and more important as it is essentially the lifeline that powers AI. For example, consider this new wave of smart note-taking applications. Because companies are so unstable and new, with how uncertain the markets are, it's very easy for things to change rapidly and suddenly they lose their money and all your notes and information is lost alongside it. So the conclusion is to stay skeptical, particularly with newer companies, and sometimes keep in mind factors such as being able to exploit your data before committing to any of these platforms. So what can you do about these limitations and uncertainties surrounding AI? Well, for now, the best course of action is to observe the ongoing developments and see how things unfold. Think of it as watching a battle among different AI tools where only the strongest and most reliable will stand the test of time. As you navigate through the world of AI, exercise caution and be selective about which tools you choose to entrust with your data. It's worth noting that we are currently in a period of rapid innovation and experimentation, much like the Wild West of old. The laws and regulations governing AI are still evolving and the long-term impacts on society is not yet fully understood. Let's take Airbnb as an example. Over time, regulations were introduced to address issues and exploitations within the platform in the real world. Similarly, with AI, it's crucial to be cautious and mindful of potential risks and legal ramifications that may arise as the technology continues to develop. Considering these factors, it would be wise to approach yearly subscriptions for tools with caution. After all, there's no guarantee that the tool will still exist, or that a better alternative won't emerge within a year anyway, and your money will be wasted. Opting for the slightly more expensive monthly subscription might be the better choice for now. Ultimately, despite all the uncertainties and risks that's going on right now, there is definitely a promising future on the horizon. We are currently witnessing the infancy of AI, and every day brings new discoveries and use cases for this transformative technology. As time progresses, we can expect the emergence of even more powerful and practical AI tools. The possibilities are truly endless. So sit back, relax, and don't get too attached to your current favorite AI tools because you just don't know what's going to be replacing them within a month or two. We are at the cusp of remarkable advancements, and it's an exciting time to witness how AI will shape our future.